So I want to also show this for a second. This is WikiLeaks put this out. This is part of a new documentary that I believe is either out now or coming out shortly. About Big Brother. Not the reality show. Don't get your freaking hopes up. It's not that. But Big Brother in the means of surveillance and the system that we're currently in right now. It's going to get worse over time. And it's just I'm going to show you a bit of it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's like a 15-minute clip and we'll be here all day if we show it. But I just want to take a second to show a little bit of this and just the fact that this is already happening. Like you hear all these things about like, oh, the Great Reset 2030, it's going to happen shortly, only a few years away. A lot of that stuff is happening now. A lot of stuff's already came about. They're already doing this without you even noticing, without you even batting an eye or even knowing about this. And the media's not covering it. Not that it's being addressed. Um, they're keeping you out of the dark of the information so that they could get all the information out of you and then exploit you with that information. So now that they have all the personal data, your bank information, your fears, anxieties, all that stuff, they'll have everything on you, and they can just blackmail you to be compliant with the status quo. So it is just absolutely horrendous. WikiLeaks points out, says, we are all being treated like suspects in a digital police lineup with our photos taken for repeated identity checks, often without even realizing it. What the government isn't telling you about facial recognition. This is from their new documentary, Big Brother Watch. Listen to this.
At the moment, this is how it works. They bring out a van. There are cameras on top of the van that scan everyone's faces as they walk past.
I came to London Bridge and I was pulled up at London Bridge in regards to this facial recognition. They were trying to threaten me with regards to an arrest.
He says to me, "You're banned." I did cry the entire way home. I felt so helpless. I just really wanted to find any way to prove that I wasn't a thief.
It's really through our engagement with the police over the years that they do give limited alerts before they use live facial recognition, which then enables us to try and find exactly where the deployment is and come and observe.
Welcome aboard the Southern service to East Croydon. The next station is Peckham Rye.
My name is Sean Thompson. I'm a street father. It's a community group that deals with the youth. We also help the youth get to where they want to get to do hair, artwork, to do whatever they want to do, whatever they feel they want to do. If it's sports they want to do, they can do that as well.
Street fathers, we street engage, we make sure the community generally feels safe. We engage young people on the verge of crime and we teach them basic English and maths. We teach them our entrepreneurial skills to show them that there are other options available to them.
As soon as we get that alert, we will have to drop everything, cancel meetings, scramble as many people from the team together that we can and go down to observe a deployment. You can't protect human rights just from behind a desk. You have to be on the ground seeing what's actually happening and talking to people who are affected. Behind me is a Metropolitan Police live facial recognition deployment. And they bring, at the moment, this is how it works, they bring out a van. There are cameras on top of the van that scan everyone's faces as they walk past. So typically, on a busy day in a London area like this, they can be scanning thousands of people's faces. It's thousands of people that are effectively walking through a digital police lineup. As you walk past, it's a passport-style check that sees if you are known to the police, if you are on a database. There are lots of different reasons that people can be put onto watch lists. You can be put on a watch list to protect you from harm, whatever that means. Typically what we see is an alert comes up, bam, the person is stopped. If
it's horrifying. And yeah, of course, the first thing they're gonna say, it's for your protection. Because that's what they do in Nazi fascist dictatorship like regimes, is they will tell you you have to comply with this for your safety. Otherwise, we will attack you. Not anybody else. We will attack you. So for your safety of us not attacking you or not throwing you into jail or the worst case imaginable, you have to comply with our orders. This is the Orwellian nightmare that we were warned about prior to all this, that now we are living in. Now it's happening. And it really took off way prior beforehand, but I think with COVID, with the pandemic and lockdowns, how they advance technology so quickly to advance the security state, to advance the surveillance industry. That's what really took this to a magnitude we couldn't even imagine. And seeing this footage and hearing the scanning and the facial recognition, and it's going back to a database. It reminds me of, and I do a bit of gaming on the side, but I'm not like one of those professional Twitch streamers or whatever. But it reminds me of the Watch Dogs games, and I don't do a lot of gaming. I don't do a lot of it. Maybe like once or twice in a few weeks, even hardly that. But I remember playing those games. So I thought, that storyline was kind of intriguing, that you are kind of you're almost like a Batman character trying to stop the surveillance state. I thought that was kind of intriguing, and I wanted to see that through. And I got, all aside, it is an amazing storyline that comes from it. But it's a storyline that comes from a video game. And that's how I want it to be, just a video game. I want this to only be in books written by Orwell. This should not be reality. This should not be taken on the streets of jolly old London or Canada or the United States or anywhere in the world. This should not be the reality that we're facing, that we are no longer people. We are just objects being scanned and monitored into a processing system. And it is just, you can't even get to imagine how much information stuff like this collects. Like, it's only your face and just your name and age number. It's not, incriminating information. Well, if everything is located to a database, and every time you log onto the internet, they're selling that data from the website to government agencies, because that like Amazon, Google, any of those sites, they're taking that information, dropping it right to the CIA in order to get government contracts. That for a fact. And even people, because I hear this all the time too, well, if you don't want to be surveilled, you shouldn't be on the internet. You shouldn't be with all this technology. Even that, they are still finding ways to track you. You can be living under a rock and they still have incriminating dirt on you, because that is how advanced, that is how just how crazy and cringeworthy this is, that they can just go around to any place on earth and track and monitor you. And they're doing this for obvious power regime authority measures. They're not doing this for your safety. They couldn't care less about people's safety. This is about protecting them. This is about protecting their power over you. And the fact that they're using it more and more, because now they're trying to track down so many individuals that are stepping out of line or posting things on Facebook, as you see what the UK police are doing now. And how they're trying to politicize this as much as possible. It's kind of funny how they could track down people from January 6th who took part in that riot that was done up by the FBI. It's amazing how they're tracking those people down, getting their information, locking them away, but they can't find anything about the apparent assassinator for President Donald Trump. Is that kind of funny? They have all this power, all this surveillance, They can't find one perp that was trying to assassinate the president, but they can get all the dirt on everybody else. You're telling me this is nothing political? You're telling me that this is for safety reasons? BS. Complete goddamn BS. You ever seen the movie I, Robot? Yes. You know exactly what's coming your way when they say it's for your safety, for your own good. Because that's a big, giant, flat-faced lie to your face as they're trying to put your face down into concrete and arrest you for being critical of the establishment, posting things online. Maybe you're not on board with the transgender stuff. Maybe you have some critiques on hormone replacement therapy. Maybe you have some critiques on agriculture. Maybe you have critiques on the environment. I don't know. That's how scary this is. You don't know what they can do with this information.
They don't stop voluntarily, then they can be physically apprehended. On the 23rd of February in the evening, I went to London Bridge to watch the police using live facial recognition in a literal thunderstorm. And in the middle of this, a man walked past, who we now know to be Sean Thompson.
Well, I came from a patrol which was actually engaging with the youth in Croydon. And on the way home, I had something to do at home with my kids, you know. But I came to London Bridge and I was pulled up at London Bridge in regards to this facial recognition.
I'm literally just come from patrolling. I'm literally patrolling. I left my lot this time.
But they're telling me I'm a wanted man. They've been asking me. They're telling me I'm a wanted man. I asked them, wanted for what? They then said, we need to make sure that it's you that's wanted. I felt very annoyed, yeah, because to me it's all unnecessary, yeah. You've already known, they already know that it's not me. They've already been, you know what I mean, they know it's not me. By the face, everything.
Wow. Talk about racial profiling right there. I'm pretty sure you're a wanted man. We don't know if that's true, but we're going to hold you contempt until we can prove otherwise. I thought we were supposed to be past the Jim Crow, segregation, race baiting, but turns out, again, like slavery, like anything, we didn't defeat any of that. We didn't defeat fascism. We didn't defeat the Nazis. They came and took over, corporate jobs, and that's why corporate alliances with the government has become the new fascism under this neoliberal bubble agenda. They smile and wave at you talking about transgender rights, even though they are taking you down systematically through the economy, through jobs, through infrastructure, and like everything. They're screwing you 9 ways to Sunday. And the surveillance state is making it more convenient for them, but not for you. And this is what I said, when it came to them introducing the passports during the COVID pandemic, which they're still trying to approve, by the way. They're still trying to move forward and get as many people onto that Arrive Cam and I forget the other one was called, but those passports, they had to have your a government ID. You have had a digital ID so that the government can track you. And then they get to decide whether you can rent a car or not. They can decide whether you're traveling or not. They can decide if you're going to a grocery store today or if you're never going to eat again. They can make the decisions, because who better to make decisions based on yourself than the people that want to destroy you? Who better? Who better to keep you safe than people that didn't care about your safety to begin with? That's why this is absolutely treacherous and diabolical and evil, and this needs to be way more of a warning call to people. Like the fact this is not on everyday television, the fact this is not in everyday print, the fact that people are screaming at the top of their lungs. And because they're getting blindsided by the fact that, it's for our safety, I guess. That's what they're telling us. It's for our safety. Holy crap. So there you go, folks. Just a little bit of that. You watch the full 15 minutes. Again, it's on the WikiLeaks Twitter page. But oh my god, now I really want to see this documentary. I really want to see, like, this is just the UK, and I always thought the Brits were better. I always thought the Brits were, they still had that monarchy kind of lifestyle. They kind of had that provision where it's not like the United States or even here in Canada. It's a little bit, kind of that way. But I thought they would have done better. I really thought they would have done better. But now in this day and age, when you have neoliberal scumbags that have deep control over government, over economics, over the banking system, over technology, over corporations, over infrastructure. Um, this is how they planned out. This is the World Economic Forum project already in play. Like, England is the setup that they're using to try to then capitalize this all around the world. That they're just going to track, monitor, surveil you, and pummel you to their command or to eventual death, and you just have to go with it. Own nothing, have a smile on your face. What a sick, twisted, psychotic world we're in, folks. And I don't want to know what's to come later in this. Like, it's already horrendous enough. And I wish more people stood up and speaked out about this. I wish more people would recognize this as the horrific mess that it is. And I don't want to even imagine what more how much worse can get from here. I hope more people wake up to this and are called to action. This should be the motivation to realize that this system is not helping you. This system is killing us. This system is what's going to destroy civilization. And if we don't do something about it now, then there might be not a time later. Like, it's already gone this far. You don't want to make it worse than it already is.